response to the GLA's failed desperate attempt to force a nuclear stalemate, the Premier was called to the European Security Council's Defense Summit. With full support of the Council, China's armed forces have been honored with the task of driving GLA forces from Europe's cities and re-establishing order. Meanwhile, the Premier assured the United Nations that China regrets the unavoidable use of nuclear arms to break the latest GLA offensive and will use restraint in future confrontations. With our European Army Division, I'm Sun Meiying.
Greetings, Commander. Now that we have thwarted the GLA's counterattack, it's time to press our advantage.
Nice location.
Uplink cables ready.
General, destroying the GLA statues will be critical to increasing our international opinion and will boost support of our efforts among the population.
Ready for bullets blowing. Spin them up. Tune in to the enemy.
Construction is complete. Build. Build orders complete. Nice location.
Gun barrel spinning. Don't stop till it's over. I think I can hear them.
Build orders complete, sir.
Tune in to the enemy. Yes, better.
Construction is complete.
I think I can hear them.
We will live in prosperity. It will look real nice when it's done.
Let's pick up some goods. Let's pick up some goods.
We have big plans. That's a good choice.
Adjusting frequency.
Construction is complete.
Gatling pack ready for action. Ah, yes. Let's get out there.
Let's build.
Battlemaster tank. Crush the enemy.
Upgrade complete.
Build orders complete, sir.
We stand together.
China has been generous. It will look real nice when it's done. Built for China. Nice location.
We stand together. Right here. Yes, General. We stand together.
China has been generous.
We stand together. We stand together.
China will grow larger.
We stand together. We stand together.
Building is complete. We have big plans. That's a good choice.
We stand together.
Construction will live in prosperity.
We stand together. We stand
Build
together.
orders complete, sir. Building the Chinese built for China.
Tune in to the enemy. We stand together.
Relocating.
We stand together.
China has been generous.
We stand together.
Build orders complete, sir.
We stand together.
Real nice when it's done. Nice location.
We stand together. We stand together. Yes. Understood. For the Republic.
beware. Their defensive structures are hidden with tunnels.
They've ambushed our base!
Right away.
We will shoot them down.
We stand together.
One of our buildings is being captured. One of our buildings is being captured.
We stand
Unit
together.
lost.
Here we go. We stand together.
Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
We stand together.
Our international opinion is becoming low.
General, they have control of our building.
Our power is low.
Gun barrel
Unit
spinning.
lost.
Gun barrel spinning. Gatling tank. Ready for action.
Expanding attention. Expanding China's border. Defenders of peace. Shoot them down.
One of our buildings is being
Our middle
captured.
kingdom.
One of our buildings is being
For
captured.
the Republic.
Unit lost. Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
We stand together. We stand together.
Ready for orders. Our middle kingdom.
We stand together.
Shoot them down.
Attack.
Enemies on the state.
We stand together. We stand together.
Yes. They cannot destroy China. Moving now, sir.
We stand together.
Immediately.
We stand together.
Our middle kingdom. Shoot them down.
We stand together.
Our middle kingdom. Our middle kingdom.
Our international opinion is very low.
We stand together.
We will shoot
We
them
stand
down.
together.
Unit
Standing
lost.
attention. Defenders of peace. Foreign
Well
devil.
done, sir.
Moving now,
The
sir.
destruction of the statue has caused world opinion to rise.
Immediately. We will shoot them down. They cannot destroy
Unit
China.
lost.
Standing
We
attention.
stand together.
Immediately.
We stand
Our middle
together.
kingdom. Yes. Moving now,
We
sir.
stand together.
Right away. Understood.
We stand together. We stand together.
Ready for orders.
We
Immediately.
stand together. We stand together.
They cannot destroy China. Enemies of the state.
Stand together.
They cannot destroy China. Moving now, sir. Understood. Our middle kingdom.
We stand together.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. For the Republic. They cannot destroy China. Foreign devil. Our middle kingdom. Enemies of the state. Foreign devil.
Unit lost.
We will shoot them down. For the Republic. They cannot destroy China. Yes. Enemies of the state.
We stand together.
For the Republic.
We stand together.
Right away. Moving now, sir. Immediately. Right away.
We stand together.
Unit lost.
Stand together.
Shoot them down. They cannot destroy China.
Attack. We stand together.
Foreign devil.
Stand together.
We will shoot them down.
Unit lost.
We have big plans.
We stand together.
Real
We are
nice
the
when
Red
it's
Guard.
done.
Stand together.
Understood. Right away.
We stand
Foreign
together.
devil.
Together.
Our middle kingdom.
Our international opinion is
Destroy
high.
China.
Great work. Unit lost.
We stand together.
Yes, sir.
We stand together.
Understood. For the Republic. Defenders of peace, we stand together. Yes, sir. Understood. Right away. We stand together. Understood. We stand together. Foreign devil.
Unit lost.
Yes. We stand together. We standing attention. Together. Immediately. We stand together.
There are no
Ready for
more
order. The Middle Kingdom. The Middle Kingdom.
Unit lost.
For the Republic. Yes, sir. Moving now, sir. Stand together. Immediately. We stand together. We stand together. Moving now, sir. Enemies of the state. We stand together. Right away. Together. They cannot destroy China. We stand together. We stand together.
Unit lost.
Enemies of the state. For the Republic! We stand together! The Middle Kingdom! Foreign devil!
Unit lost.
We stand together!
We're making good progress, Commander. Much of the city is now free of GLA control.
Shoot them down! Moving now, sir! Foreign devil! Right away! Understood. We stand immediately! Together. We stand together! Yes! We stand together! We stand together! We are the Red Guard! We stand together!
Unit lost.
Shoot them down! They're attacking! They cannot destroy China! The Middle Kingdom! Foreign devil! The Middle Kingdom!
Unit lost.
Understood. Moving now, sir. Enemies of the state. We will shoot them down. No more surprise. They cannot destroy China. We stand together. Foreign devil.
Unit lost.
Standing attention. They cannot destroy China. They cannot destroy China.
Sir,
Enemies of
the
the state.
city is rising up against our foes.
Together. We stand together. Right away. We stand together.
Unit lost.
Where is the
We
battle?
stand together.
For the Red Army.
Ready for orders. We stand Foreign devil. We stand together. We stand yes, together. Sir. The Middle
Unit
Kingdom.
lost.
They cannot destroy China. We stand together. The Middle Kingdom. They cannot destroy China. Foreign devil. We stand together.
Fighting for the Red Army. They will escape.
Unit lost.
We stand
I have
together.
China's blessing.
We stand together. Standing attention. We stand together. Enemies of the state. We stand together. The Middle Kingdom. Enemies of the state.
Unit lost.
Foreign devil. Save us. We stand together. Ready for orders. Moving now, sir. Defenders of People's Army. Foreign devil. The Middle Kingdom. They cannot destroy China. Ready for orders. Attack! Enemies of the state. Understood.
Unit lost.
Foreign devil. Yes, sir. Right away. We are the Red Guard. Immediately. Understood. Yes,
We
sir.
stand together. We stand together.
For the Republic! Yes! Moving now, sir.
We stand together.
Understood.
Unit
We stand
lost.
together.
We will shoot them down. Pending attention. Foreign devil. Yes!
We stand together. We stand
The
together.
Middle Kingdom. They cannot destroy China! Foreign devil. For the Republic!
We stand
Understood.
together.
Unit lost.
Right away. Shoot them down. The Middle Kingdom.
We stand together. We stand together.
Enemies of the state. Attack! Moving now, sir.
We stand together.
Immediately.
We stand together.
Right away. Moving now,
Unit
sir.
lost.
They cannot destroy China! Foreign devil! Right away. The Middle Kingdom. Foreign devil. They cannot destroy China!
Unit lost.
Understood. Enemies of the state. Stand down. Right away. Attack! The Middle Kingdom. We are the Red Guard. Enemies of the state. Understood. Moving now, sir. Understood. For the Republic.
Unit lost.
Enemies of the state. The Middle Kingdom. Shoot them down. Enemies of the state.
Unit lost.
Foreign devil. They cannot destroy China. Shoot them down. Understood.
Unit lost.
The Middle Kingdom.
The terrorist threat is finished. Good work, gentlemen. We are victorious.